What's going on, guys? Z85Ju back with another video. I'm doing something today that I probably should have done many months ago. You guys have been giving me so many hate, especially my friends. So today we have a 370 out, and as you guys know, this car looks fairly good for the most part. Everything's pretty clean except for these nasty headlights. So as you can see, and of course in my previous videos I've already mentioned, it's cracked, everything like that. So there's nothing really wrong with the headlights, it's just mainly the lens. For those who don't know, I actually took apart these headlights probably about 3 or 4 years ago now, and I painted the insides black. Took out the little side marker here, and I believe I painted it because they do make a clear one, but at the time they were on back order. Just was impatient and stuff like that, so I just painted it black so you can't really see it at all. So just gave it a nice sleek look, and I left these alone because a lot of people do these red, but I'm not really a fan of that. I just kind of like a simple look. So we will be taking these apart, and I'm going to show you guys everything you need. So with that being said, go ahead and drop a like, and if you're not already subscribed, bro, go ahead and subscribe, man. We're so close to 1K, and I will be doing something for you guys here soon. Other than that, let's get on with the video. So here are my new lenses. So these are brand new lenses, and I have carbon fiber insides, and including the housings are painted carbon fiber as well. So that is really sick. Same thing as well as the side marker is, it's not blacked out, it's actually carbon fiber. Let me actually just pull one off so you can see. All right, so taking this thing off, you can get a better glance of the carbon fiber. Again, it's super dusty, but you can see it's hydro dip, so obviously it's not actual carbon fiber, but just cool, a little effect. And then you can also see these new lenses, so I do need to clean them up a bit. They have a little bit of the sealant around them. But other than that, yeah, they look so much better than those that are on the car. So in order to throw those on, you only need 3 things. I guess maybe 4, but we'll call it 3. The first thing you need is a box. So you need any box. You just need something big enough to put your headlight in. So whether that's going to be your 370, your 350, for any headlight, you just need something that can cover the headlight completely when you put it in. Second, you need a heat gun. So you need to take the glue off of all the headlights, so when you're putting it in here, you're going to heat up this box with the headlight in it, and you're going to basically heat it up to a certain temperature, whatever, until it gets hot enough, and try to like pry it open. And you want to maybe try to do this with your hands at first. You don't want to really use any tools, just because it can really mess up the seal. So when you go to seal it back, it'll just be all wonky. So you just want to try to pull it apart, and I'll show you that later. The third thing you're going to need is going to be the sealant. I don't think I have any right here. I'll go ahead and try to find some, but you can use really any black sealant. They do make headlight sealant in particular, but it's a lot more expensive. So, and if you want to wait for it, but I don't want to wait for it, so I'm gonna just go buy some regular sealant, and then we'll go ahead and seal this back up. And I will be taking all this off too, this old residue. This is from, I guess, the previous guy who didn't do that good of a job. So I'm gonna stop you guys again. Please go ahead and drop a like, comment, don't forget to subscribe, and let me know what car you have, and if you're ever gonna try this yourself. I'd love to know. Remove your bumper. So if you have a 370, you need to remove the bumper in order to take the headlight out. So that's what we're gonna go ahead and do now. So once you have your bumper off, you can finally access the headlight. So I think this is the one that I'll probably go ahead and do. 370s have a couple bolts. So if you look right here below the headlight, you can see you have 1 bolt underneath. You have 1 on the side at the top. You don't need to worry about the bottom one, just the top one. And then you also, if you pull this back, you have 1 that's kind of hiding right here. And then as well, you should probably have 1 right here, but I have carbon fenders, so I don't have 1 right there. But you might have 1 up there as well. So take all the bolts off and unplug the headlight, and then you'll be good to go. And voila. Another small tip for all the homies out there: once you do get your headlight out, what I like to do, just so I don't lose any bolts, I'll go ahead and gather all my bolts, and I just go ahead and throw them back in the same spots that I gathered them out from. I know this is kind of like a stupid thing to maybe say, but you'd rather be safe than sorry, and you don't want to like lose any bolts, so I just kind of throw them back in if I can. This one, since it was a part of the headlight bracket, you can just throw this bolt right over here, and then that'll be good to when you come back to it. So for me, you guys can already kind of see my headlight doesn't really fit in this box. This is actually the biggest box that I have, and that's going to be all right as long as it closes for the most part. The main thing that what we're doing when we close the box is containing all of the heat that we put in from the heat gun. You know, we just want to make sure that all the heat is, you know, staying in here so this headlight gets hot enough so we can take it apart. But it would be better if the whole headlight could go in, but with these 370Z headlights, it's just a huge headlight. Surprisingly enough, this doesn't even fit in an oven. If you take out all the shelves, it doesn't fit in. And honestly, I don't really like the oven trick just because if you put this on the oven itself or like a metal tray or something like that, you're actually gonna burn these tabs. So you can see when I did this years ago, I kind of burned this tab like a long time ago right here. So I just like the box trick. Nothing really gets hot but the headlights. So you want to do that. And then also, if your box does not have any holes in it already, you can go ahead and like cut a little circle so your heat gun can go right in. This one does have holes, but I probably will still cut a hole because when you are putting heat in here, you don't want to heat up the headlight directly. You want to make sure that the heat is just going into the box. So I'll probably end up cutting my hole somewhere over here so the heat is just coming in right here. I don't want it to hit the headlight head on. So as you guys can see, went ahead and cut my hole out. So it's just big enough to go ahead and put my heat gun in here and just kind of let it sit and rest while it's on. So that's all you want to do. Just go ahead and cut a hole, throw your heat gun in, you'll be good to go. And now it's baking time. So what I like to do, you know, since my box doesn't close all the way, I like to just go ahead and throw something heavy on top of, you know, whatever can close just so nothing's, you know, staying open. So I'll leave that there. No, actually, let me see. I guess I could make it close. So yeah, we'll do that. We'll leave it closed and then we'll set this to low. Make sure it's getting hot. And then we'll go ahead and throw our heat gun in here. And we'll leave it in here maybe about like 5 minutes or so. You know, a couple minutes. You just want to kind of gauge it. And whenever you think that it's ready, you know, just go ahead and open your box up, turn off your heat gun, and try to pry it open. I will warn you, you do want to try to pry these things open with some gloves. The headlight is going to be hot, so you don't want to, you know, try it with your hands because you will burn your fingers. Just a fair disclaimer for you guys. Make sure you have some gloves on. This will be our first attempt to kind of see, you know, how the headlights are doing. They've been in here probably about 3 or 4 minutes. So get your gloves on, cut that off. I can already feel this box is pretty warm. So let's see. Oh, another thing I forgot to mention, the headlight has screws in them. We probably want to go ahead and take those off because we won't be able to get the headlight off. That was something that I forgot, so disregard what I just did. We're gonna go ahead and take these screws off right here on the back of the headlight, and then we'll go ahead and try to pry it off. So once you have your headlight off of the actual housing itself, you're going to want to flip this part over, and then there's going to be screws in here. You just want to go ahead and take off all of these screws, and this is how you take off the skeleton part of the headlight. This is going to be if you're going to like paint the headlight or anything, kind of like how I did. So mine is black in here. Usually the 370s, these come in like chrome and stuff. So if you're going to go ahead and do that, that's what you want to do now. But since we're not really going to utilize anything in here besides one of these caps right here, I think that the new headlights that I have don't have this cap, so I need to take this off and just reuse it for there. But other than that, everything is going to be pretty much, you know, staying with this assembly. So that's going to be that. Go ahead and take apart, you know, these little screws and take what I need out, and that'll be it. And this is the only thing that I need. I'll probably go ahead and maybe try to paint this black just because the other one again doesn't have this. So I might throw it in just to kind of see how it'll look, but I don't want it to look stupid with one, you know, black one right here and then one silver one. So we'll see how it looks and we'll just play it by ear, see what looks the best. Honestly, I'm not sure. I'm not really a huge fan of how I think this is gonna look. I know it's really hard to see with the glare and everything, but you can see how this housing right here is black and this one is gonna be like silver. I don't think that's gonna have a good look on the car. So what I'm probably gonna do, I'm probably just gonna go ahead and take off the other headlight for now. Go ahead and pull it apart just like I did this one, and I'll go ahead and paint them. But the mistake that I made when I did that, I painted these housing and I put the lenses right back together, you know, like within the same day. You don't want to really do that. And I don't know if that caused, you know, these cracks or if it was the sun, but I know that's really bad. You know, you really want to paint whatever you're going to paint and just let it sit for maybe 24, 48 hours just to let the paint cure, because once you seal it back up, everything that was in there, all the fumes and everything, is going to be trapped in the headlight housing, and I don't want to have to do this really again. What I think I'm going to do, I'm going to hold off for now, go ahead and take off the housing and paint both of these lenses, like this little plastic piece right there, and then I'll come back to it in about 24 to 48 hours and then go ahead and reassemble everything. I will say the reassemble is just pretty simple. You know, you just go ahead and put your little glue on there, you know, set the headlight on there, and you know, heat everything up and just kind of mush it in, and go ahead and throw in your screws and everything like that. So it's gonna be a lot easier than what we just did. Jeez, bro, I swear my neighborhood is like a racetrack. Anyways, it'll be a lot easier, so I'll catch up with you guys soon. I'm not gonna go ahead and do the other one on camera since I just showed you guys. So I really hope that you enjoyed this part 1 of taking apart your headlights. Please subscribe and come back for part 2. Really appreciate you guys.